In the late afternoon, as the setting sun's rays gently bathed the Chuanjian sect, Devin, accompanied by 3 of his disciples, set off from Mount Zhongnan towards Mount Hua. The news of the competition on Huashan Mountain had already spread throughout the martial arts world, drawing numerous martial artists to the mountain. Along the way, they encountered many travelers, including burly men on horseback and an agile man in cyan clothes dashing by with his lightness kung fu. Upon reaching the foot of Mount Hua, they were greeted by a sentry set up by the Beggars sect. The Beggars sect member recognized Devin and led them up the mountain, announcing their arrival with a series of calls that echoed all the way to the summit. At the top of the mountain, 4 prominent figures awaited, a Nora senior pharmacist Hale, Jim, and George. Their presence commanded the attention of all. As Devin and his disciples arrived, a commotion ensued when a passerby demanded to see the 9 manual. Hale, in a display of his ruthlessness, released a horde of venomous snakes to deal with the intruders. Just as the situation grew dire, Albert stepped forward, volunteering to handle the snakes and ensure that no one would disrupt the master's battle. To everyone's astonishment, he effortlessly dealt with the snakes, causing them to freeze and then burst, their blood splattering. This feat left even the seasoned martial artists like George and Jim in awe. With Albert taking care of the situation below, Devin and the other 4 masters, a Nora senior pharmacist Hale, Jim, and George, began their epic battle on the mountain peak to determine the owner of the 9 manual and claim the title of the world's greatest martial artist. Below, Albert's powerful display had cowed the onlookers. He stood as a formidable presence, preventing anyone from interfering with the master's fight. Some martial artists took his advice and engaged in friendly competitions on the platform, while others simply watched in fear and admiration. Throughout the 3-day-long battle on the peak, Albert sat vigilantly at the entrance to the summit. His true essence, far more potent than ordinary internal energy, created an invisible barrier that deterred those who tried to approach. Any who dared to resist were severely injured. As the battle raged on, Albert's luck points steadily increased, a sign that his participation in this major event was paying off. Finally, after 3 days and nights, the battle on the peak came to an end. Devin, having entered the Xiantian realm, had managed to suppress the other 4 masters. George conceded defeat, and the others, including a Nora senior pharmacist and Jim, expressed their admiration for Devin's strength. Hale, however, left in a huff, still resentful of not obtaining the 9 manual. At this moment, Albert ascended the peak with an otherworldly display of lightness kung fu. His arrival was a sight to behold, as he seemed to walk on air. Everyone present was struck by his extraordinary skills. Albert congratulated Devin on his victory, and the others praised Devin for having such an outstanding disciple. With Devin's victory, the first competition on Huashan Mountain came to a close. The names of the 5 greats resounded throughout the martial arts world. Additionally, Albert, with his incredible performance, left an indelible mark on the hearts of the onlookers, earning the reputation of an otherworldly figure. Although the spotlight was mainly on the 5 greats, Albert was not concerned. His focus remained on obtaining more luck points and, more importantly, getting a chance to study the 9 manual, which he believed could help him progress in his cultivation. After the conclusion of the Huashan and Jan, Albert's luck points accumulated significantly, reaching 3,100. With the cost for the basic qi refining art met, he only lacked sufficient basic internal energy knowledge. Boldly, Albert asked his master, Devin, to borrow the 9 manual. Baron, fearing Devin's misunderstanding, quickly explained that Albert was just interested in reading, not practicing. Devin, understanding Albert's unique path similar to Huangshang's, handed over the manual, cautioning him not to spread it as the martial world was already in turmoil. Albert immediately delved into the profound text of the 9 manual. Its comprehensive knowledge, as the grand compendium of martial arts, captivated him. He sat cross-legged and immersed himself in reading. Meanwhile, Devin, having achieved a more stable Xiantian realm and a deeper understanding of martial arts from the Huashan Jan, took the opportunity to guide Baron and Quinshan in their cultivation. By dawn, Albert finished reading the manual. His basic knowledge of internal energy had increased from 40% to 70%. Returning the book, he expressed his confusion to Devon, seeking further enlightenment. They engaged in a profound discussion about the Xiantian realm and the essence of the Xiantian Gong. Through this exchange, Albert's knowledge grew to 83%. However, as Devon's insights were gradually exhausted, the growth of Albert's knowledge began to slow down. Impressed by Albert's innovative method of attracting the spiritual energy of heaven and earth in his basic qi refining art, Devon decided to give Albert a Taoist name. Considering Albert's extraordinary talent, Devon named him Chunyang, indicating his high hopes. Devon also planned for Albert to go on a journey of experience. Concerned about Albert's young age, Devon asked Quinchin to accompany him. Albert and Quinchin then headed south. Albert, for the first time, truly experienced the vast differences between the desolate north and the prosperous south. The south was filled with bustling towns, happy citizens, and a thriving business scene, with occupations that seemed to belong to a later era. Approaching his family's home, Albert saw that the Jiang family had grown significantly in the past 3 years, thanks to his initial support and the connection with the Chuanjian sect. Reunited with his parents, Albert spent a month at home, chatting, planning the family business, and enjoying the simple pleasures. His family's fortune grew even more rapidly under his guidance. Moreover, good news arrived as his mother was pregnant. After waiting for the birth of his younger brother, Albert, having spent half a year at home, decided it was time to leave. With his parents' reluctant farewells, Albert and Quinchin set off again. Riding westward, Quinchin, mistaking Albert's serious expression for homesickness, tried to comfort him. In fact, Albert was reflecting on his cultivation progress. Over the past 6 months, his luck points had only increased by 250, and his basic knowledge remained at 83%. Realizing that excessive idleness was detrimental to his cultivation, Albert was determined to resume his pursuit of knowledge and spiritual growth on this new journey in the martial world.